Okay, let's get started with my review of the Dell S2716DG. And I have definitely, for sure, learned my lesson with this one, not to judge a monitor by its specifications alone. When I was offered to review the Dell Alienware Aurora R5 PC, they told me it would come along with a gaming monitor, which I was excited about, until I've seen that it is a TN panel and yeah, okay. Put it on my desk, set it up, tried it, used it for a few minutes and thought, wow, wait, this is what the end panels look like these days? Because usually I'm used to the ones in lower res laptops, but this is a completely different level. Sit halfway straight in front of it, check all four corners, and you won't really see any noticeable shift of colors. Of course, go into extreme angles, you will see some color shifting towards the yellow, but even if you are more than usually off angle, you won't really notice anything. So my first deal breaker is completely out of the way. I don't need an IPS panel if I want stable viewing angles and a great gaming experience, but with a TN panel, of course, you get some other advantages over an IPS panel, which I will get into later. But first of all, ergonomics. 140mm height adjustment, absolutely fine. We have pivot mode if you want that. I don't think you will use it all that much though. And swivel 20 degrees in both directions. We have HDMI, display port, two USB ports, audio out, and the port to connect the USBs to the PC. What I found to be really handy is the headphone jack along with two more USBs on the left side, easily accessible. In terms of ergonomics, it maybe doesn't look all that much like a gaming monitor, which is absolutely fine in my book though, since it is really minimalistic, really elegant, and we have small bezels. On the bottom side, on the left, we have buttons here, proper buttons, not capacitive ones on mine, but the pain in the ass is the power button, which is way too stiff and way too hard to press, so you will have to get used to that. But if we check the menus here, you won't really get impressed by, because you get the standard options to change the most minimalistic stuff. You won't really see all that much. What I would have liked to have seen is the software that I have on my Dell monitors, so I can arrange the windows and so on. This is just not happening here. At least I didn't find one. All I found was a driver, so just keep that in mind. But it's not all important. I think there are third-party solutions after all. But I want to go into the video panel's qualities now, and this is where I was super surprised, completely thrown off, because first of all I checked the white and it was really nicely calibrated, not too warm, not too cold, really great. But the biggest advantage over an IPS display, since it is an TN panel, we don't have IPS glow, and this ends in a really extremely uniform black. No IPS glow, no light bleed, very uniform, very nice deep blacks. Absolutely top, and they are very stable, since, as I said, the viewing angles are very stable. So white and black is already covered. Now the only thing where we have a little bit of a disadvantage compared to an IPS panel are the colors, because it's not meant for video and photo editing, since it's not 100% sRGB or Adobe like that. So colors seem a little bit more washed out, and I think the sharpness is also not quite on an IPS level, which could be just in my head though. But therefore, the colors are still quite accurate. So at least the colors are accurate. Maybe just a little bit saturation is missing, which you could add just by on your own. But the biggest advantage here is not maybe for videos, because videos look fine, all fine. Maybe not just impressive or just as nice as on an IPS display, but the biggest important difference and advantage here is we have here a 144 Hz G-Sync enabled 1 millisecond response rate panel. And the advantage over an IPS display is the 1 millisecond response time. So you don't have any glowing, you don't have any ghosting, and maybe we have a little bit less of a sharper display, which is really minimal and you won't really even notice, but therefore in games it's sharper because you don't have the glow, the ghosting and all that. And of course with the added benefit of a really nice black. So just in terms of gaming, it definitely has the upper hand here, which I did not expect. Maybe the games don't look as nice due to the colors, but as I already said, in games you won't really notice that, since the colors are still very nicely calibrated on this panel, and I did not expect it to be actually that good. So if someone wouldn't have told me that it is a TN panel, I wouldn't have checked it on extreme angles. I maybe wouldn't have even noticed, because I've seen the heavy IPS glow and light bleed on an AOC monitor, that I definitely think it's definitely worth thinking at least about the TN panel. So let's talk about the value here. When I check my usual site to see what is usually popular, I saw that the most popular one, if you're checking for a 27-inch with 1440p and high refresh rates, is this Dell monitor. And for a good reason, because the competition is a little bit higher priced and you get a really great one here. Now, if you're thinking about an IPS panel, you have to pay at least 100, but usually like 200 and more. That is something you have to think about, because is it worth it? You will go through the lottery of getting a good panel because of the IPS glow and especially the light bleed, because that's just a disadvantage of IPS panels in general. Of course, if you want a more, or I would say a better fitting all-rounder, I think the IPS could be the better chance, because especially, or the better option, if you are looking for something to play games on with a great experience, but also have the option to edit photos and videos. This is maybe not so much the case here, at least if you want something super accurate. But if you're just looking for a gaming monitor, my mind has changed about getting an IPS panel, because I thought I need that for a great gaming experience and everything else. But it is so close to an IPS panel, which I would have never expected to be that close, that I definitely will consider to buy a TN panel. And if you are a normal gamer without being a YouTuber or needing the perfect colors, this is more than legit. Qualities are overall absolutely there. If I would have to think back what is bad, just sum it up real quick. Ergonomics, as I said, absolutely top. Okay, maybe a few more ports would have been nice, but if you have a PC powerful enough to push all those pixels, you have a graphics card that has all the ports as well, and the PC, so no problems here. Display's qualities are way better than I would have ever expected, because colors are still nice. Nicely calibrated, especially, way more accurate compared to the AOC that I had, just with a little bit less saturation that you can get if you want to. And then, no IPS glow, no ghosting. A really nice, deep, uniform black. So what else could you wish more for? And that's why I have a hard time actually thinking about what could be better on an Asus or an Acer, because they will have the same disadvantages as like on the, like for example, the slightly washed out colors. So I'm done. Because it's getting a little bit wonky already. I think you got the main intention. I am really impressed by this. For the price, it offers a great value. Overall, great qualities, and I don't really see much they could improve, especially not with the pros and cons of a TN panel. These just are there. You can't avoid them anyways. But I hope you liked this video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments, and I wish you a nice day, and I hope this video was helpful to you. See you next time. Bye.